All right, let's talk about that incredible feeling, that almost magical mental state where you are just on fire. Everything clicks, you're performing at your absolute best. We're talking about the science of the flow state, and more importantly, how you can tap into it. Let's really dig into what's going on in your head when you get in the zone.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever been so completely wrapped up in something? Maybe you're playing a video game, you're deep into writing some code, or just having an amazing conversation, and suddenly you look up and realize hours have just vanished?
Yeah, that's the feeling. You're so deep in it that you don't feel hungry. You don't hear the dog barking next door, that nagging to-do list that's usually running in the back of your mind. It's gone. Poof. It's just you and the task, moving together seamlessly.
Well, that experience has a name, and it's called the flow state. A psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi gave it that name, and he described it as the optimal state of consciousness. It's not just about being focused. It's when we feel our best and we perform our best. It's the scientific term for being totally in the zone.
So how do you know if you've been there? Well, there are some classic signs. Your actions and your awareness just kind of merge. They feel effortless. You're intensely focused only on what's happening right here, right now. That little voice of self-doubt in your head, it goes completely silent. And yeah, time gets all weird. But maybe the biggest thing is this. You're doing it just for the love of doing it. The process is the reward. Okay, so what is actually firing off in our brains when this happens? Because it's not just a feeling, right? It's a real, measurable neurological event. Let's pop the hood and see what's going on inside. One of the absolute biggest things that happens is that the part of our brain that's responsible for our sense of self, that inner monologue, that critic that's always judging and worrying, it just goes quiet. Neuroscientists actually have a term for this. It's called temporal hypofrontality. It's basically your brain deciding to turn the volume way, way down on self-doubt. And this quieting is driven by something called the default mode network, or DMN. Now, normally, when you're just sitting around, your DMN is on. That's when your mind wanders, you worry about the future, you second-guess yourself. But in flow, the DMN actually deactivates. It shuts off. And by silencing all that internal chatter, it frees up a ton of brain power, which lets you get into that state of deep, effortless focus. And get this, while your inner critic is taking a nap, your brain is flooding your system with this incredible neurochemical cocktail. Seriously, you get a hit of dopamine, which boosts motivation. You get norepinephrine for razor-sharp attention. Endorphins kick in for pleasure, and even serotonin to give you that feeling of calm and well-being. It is literally a natural, performance-enhancing state brewed right inside your own skull. Okay, so we get what flow is. We know what it feels like. The million-dollar question is, can we make it happen on purpose? And the answer is yes, absolutely. It's not some kind of mystical magic. It's about learning how to engineer the right conditions. Now, the golden rule, the #1 trigger for flow, is what's called the challenge-skill balance. Think about it. If a task is way too hard for you, you're going to feel anxious and overwhelmed. If it's way too easy, you'll just get bored. Flow lives right in that perfect sweet spot, where the challenge pushes you right to the edge of your abilities, but doesn't push you over. And beyond that sweet spot, there are 4 key ingredients. First, you need super clear goals. You have to know exactly what you need to do from one moment to the next. Second, you need immediate feedback so you know if you're on the right track. Third, you need that perfect balance of challenge and skill we just talked about. And finally, you gotta have intrinsic motivation. You have to be doing it because you love it, not for some external reward. You can also stack the deck in your favor by setting up your environment. And this means being absolutely ruthless with distractions. I mean, turn off your phone notifications. For real. It also helps to have a little pre-flow ritual, like putting on a specific album or tidying your desk. It signals to your brain that it's time to focus. And of course, none of this works if you're exhausted. Good sleep and exercise are non-negotiable. Now, for decades, this has not been in the realm of psychology and, personal discipline, but that's all changing. A powerful new tool has entered the game: artificial intelligence. And honestly, it might change everything we know about flow. This is a massive shift. For as long as we've studied flow, the only way to know if someone was in it was to ask them. Which is fine, but it's totally subjective. Now, for the first time, AI-powered tech lets us measure the actual biological signs of flow, objectively and in real time. So how does it work? Well, there are a few ways. You've got wearable ETG headbands that track your brainwaves. Other sensors can monitor your heart rate or even tiny little behavioral cues, like the rhythm of your typing or where your eyes are looking on a screen. AI algorithms then take all that data and learn to spot the signature of your brain in a flow state. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about a system that knows from moment to moment if you're bored, if you're stressed, or if you're in that perfect state of deep focus. That is an incredibly powerful tool. But here's where it gets really wild. It doesn't just stop at measuring flow. The next step is intervention. Imagine a learning app that senses you're getting bored and automatically makes the next problem a little harder. Or a tool at work that sees you're getting overwhelmed and simplifies the information on your screen. AI could become our personal flow co-pilot. This all sounds amazing, right? I mean, the potential to boost performance and just enhance our lives is huge. But it also cracks open a Pandora's box of some really tough ethical questions. Just because we can use AI to engineer our own mental states, does that really mean we should? And the concerns are pretty serious. You've got data privacy. I mean, who owns your brain data? Who gets to see it? There's algorithmic bias. Could this tech favor certain people over others? There's the black box problem, where we don't even know how the AI is making its decisions. And maybe the biggest one of all, human autonomy. If an AI nudges you into the zone, is it still your accomplishment? Ultimately, I think it has to come down to this. The goal can't just be about squeezing out more productivity. The real test for this kind of technology is whether it can truly enhance the human experience, that feeling of joy and deep engagement, without taking away the very things that make it feel meaningful in the first place. And that leaves us with a huge, final question to think about. As this technology literally offers us the key to unlock our own minds, who do we trust to hold it?